Gwan, I don't know, it's a girl Rosh Wavy, and we're here back at it again.
Make things clear. I fall for you every time I try to resist. We can get away. Come chase beach views and everything.
Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and you don't know, it's a girl Rosh Wavy, and today I'm gonna be telling you guys how I passed my driving test in Jamaica. So for the persons who are new to this channel, or if you're seeing part 2 before seeing part 1, let me just explain. So recently I had applied to get my driver's license, and it was a whole process. So I did pass my driving test and everything, and I'm gonna tell you guys how the process was and what you guys can look out for. So let's get into it. Alright, so before I get into the video, the last video I spoke about how I got my learners. These were the books that I used to study to actually pass that, and these are the same books that I used to pass my driving test as well. So if you guys are looking to get your driver's license or getting your learners, these books are very important for you to have. They have questions and answer. I think one has over 200 questions, and they do help you. This one helps the most for me. This one is for the mechanical. So this is the road code, and this is a mechanical one. Alright, but the first thing I had done was, once I got my learners, I had went to the tax office and I had paid for the driving test, which was $3,200 and something. I stated that figure in my last video, so if you guys want to check that out, you can just click the link up there, right? So I paid at the tax office, and I came, handed the paper, and selected. I went back down to the depot and selected a date to come and do my driving test. So while preparing to go and do my driving test, because they'll give you like a week before you can do your driving test. So I think it's like a week apart or 2 weeks, but I got a week. So within that week I was studying, I was practicing, and I was a bit nervous. So on the day that I went to do my test, I went there, and before you do the driving test, you have to do a written test, and the written test would be the mechanical test. So you would have to be using this book. So the mechanical test, I think it came with 25 questions, multiple choice, and some questions required more than one answer. So there were 2 or more answers to each some questions, right? The mechanical test, if you fail that, then I think you don't get to do the driving test, right? But I passed, surprisingly, because I am telling you guys the truth. I don't know much about the mechanics of a car, but this book, I studied this book for that test, and it did help me a lot. So if you guys are really looking to get your license, you can use this book to help you. So I did the test, and when you do the mechanical test, surprisingly, you only get 15 minutes. In comparison to when I got my learners, I got 30 minutes to do the test, but when you're doing your driver's license, you only get 15 minutes to do the written test. So I did the written test, and the person came, collected my paper. They told me to wait outside and until I heard my name, like the last time, and I waited outside. I went into the car. I was crying a bit because, like I said, guys, I was a little nervous. Understand that? You need to close the window. Why am I playing with me? Sorry. I'm sorry. I went to the car. I was crying because, like I said, guys, I know nothing about the mechanics of a car, and I was really nervous. I didn't think I passed because a lot of the questions that I saw there, it was so complicated and so hard. I did it. Again, the pass mark for that test was also 75%. So I waited some time outside, and then I heard my name call. I went to the person that called my name, and they said, okay, get a car and drive around to the back. I was like, the boss, wow, okay, cool. So I went and I got the car, and I drove around to the back. So this is where you get to do your driving test. Before you do your driving test again, you have to complete 2 things at the depot. 1 is parallel parking, and 2 is reverse lane. So I drove the car to the back. I had to stay up at the top for a while because somebody else was doing their test. So I watched the person, and I went down there when it was my time, right? and I did my parallel park and I did my reverse lane, which was awesome. I did them well. I'm gonna be showing you guys what those things look like, what a parallel park is and what actual reverse lane is. I did not get to video at the depot, but I did video when I was practicing, so I'm gonna show you guys when I was practicing. Guys, if you don't know how to do the reverse lane or the parallel park, they're not gonna take you on the road, so you have to make sure that you're good at that and you don't lick no cone, you just have to be perfect. And you have to do the parallel park 2 times and you do the reverse lane 1 time.
It's not that I want you here, yeah. It's not the way you say it to my eyes. I know that I don't make things clear. I fall for you every time I try to resist you. You get away, on trees, beach views, and every day. All I wanna do is end up bitches on replay. Still right next to you. You do. Try not to show how I feel about you.
Based on what I was practicing, because where I normally drive to practice to do those things, the reverse lane was so narrow and long. So when I got to the depot and I saw their reverse lane, I was like, this is short. This is like so easy. Like, really? This is it? This is it? And the guy's like, yep. I was like, okay, cool. I'm just going to the car too, and we do it. And boop, boop, you blow your horn. Yeah, so guys, when you do, each time you do the reverse lane or the parallel park, as soon as you complete it, you have to blow your horn. And you get 5 minutes to complete each. So you get 5 minutes to complete the parallel park, you get 5 minutes to complete the reverse lane. If you go over that time, you will be failed. If you hit a cone, you're gonna be failed. And what else? You all know that it's a reverse lane, so you can't go in there front way. I just saying that, I don't know if nobody else thought about that. It's a reverse lane, you have to reverse in it. Yeah, alright. You're not allowed to go forward in a reverse lane as well. You're not allowed to come out of the vehicle to look at how you park or to look at how you did. You're not allowed to do that. You're only allowed to drive and blow your horn, basically. So I did all of that. After doing that, then they take you on the road and you drive, and they tell you to do a number of things. They tell you to use the road on your left or on your right to assist you in turning in the opposite direction. Those things were pretty easy to me because, like I said, I was getting training from Kay. So when we used to have things to do on the road, I'll just drive, and while driving he'd teach me how to do certain things. And then we had specific days that we had set out to do particular things, so I had known how to do those things before. So while you're doing your tests, they have the paper on which you did your exam on, and it's stapled to like the same brown paper like what your learners would look like, right? And the guys, they're grading you, so basically he just makes a tick or him do an X. So if he makes an X somewhere, you fail. 1 X and you fail. Once you do that, you come back to the depot, and they'll tell you whether or not you passed and all of that. And then you go inside, you have to sign and do all of the little paperwork. And then after doing so, you go back to the tax office. Not the same day. You go back to the tax office and you go there, you tell them that you want to pay for your license now, and they'll ask you for your name. You tell them and they'll give you a form to fill out. Lucky for me, Kay had already had one of those forms, so I had filled the form out before even going to the tax office. So when I went to the tax office, it was a smooth sailing for me. So when I went inside, I gave them the paper. Because of Corona, they're no longer taking pictures in the tax office for your license. You have to take a picture to them. And I'm not tell no lie, I took my pretty picture and I carried it up there for them use, and the lady was like, oh well, the JP that signed this, it was stamped a little bit too hard. It's basically showing on the picture, so you don't have another picture you can use, you have to go and take one. And I was like, you see all this now. You see all this now. After you carry a pretty picture going on, I had the same day that I went to pay for the license, I had renewed my passport. So I had pictures that went into my passport. I had some left over, but I didn't like the picture at all, because when I went to do my passport as well, they said that, oh, my hair is too puffy. I'm like, what do you want me to chop it off? Me just can't chop it off. What want me to do? Chop it off? Anyways, so I used one other picture. I used the same picture that is in my passport, which is extremely ugly. So I know my license is gonna be so ugly. I gave it to her. She pasted on it, and then she gave me a paper with something on it. She told me to go to the cashier and pay for it. For your license, you pay 7,200 Jamaican dollars. And after doing so, I collected the receipt and all of that, and then I went back to her. When I went to her, she gave me a paper, I think, or a date or something. She gave me the date at which I should come and pick up my actual license. But I do have the receipt. So with the receipt, guys, you are allowed to drive by yourself. Nobody in the car, you can drive. You don't have to have nobody in there with a license, because once you have your receipt for your license, it means that you have your license. You have your license, so you don't necessarily need somebody to accompany you in the car. So at this point right now, I'm allowed to drive anywhere I want to drive. I can go anywhere I want to go with just that receipt. Yeah, I still have my learners as well. So when I get my license, I think they're gonna take my learners or something. I'm not sure, but I don't think I'm gonna be having it anymore, using it, because you have a license now. So that was basically the steps to getting my license. I'm getting my license, I think, a week from now. I think I'm supposed to pick it up on the 16th at the tax office. So I'm super excited, and I hope this video helped you guys if you're looking forward to get your license or your learners. I'm hoping that these steps are easy for you guys to understand, and I hope this adds some value to anything. Or if you had any questions, any concerns, I'm always here. You can reach out to me on Instagram at this, or Facebook at this, or just leave a comment below this video and I'll answer you guys. Alright, so thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.